Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Yechi here, and I have a new video today for my fellow students out there. And today we're going to be talking about money. We're going to be talking about managing your finance as a college student. I do feel like after this whole coronavirus ends and we go back to school, a lot of people want to like have a fresh start and do some things differently. And if finance is part of it for you, then you came to the right channel today. So we're going to go into managing your finance, little habits that you need and little things and tools that you need to make you manage your finance better. It is the best time for you to actually get your finance right, instead of waiting till later when you go outside and have a job with more expenses, have more bills to pay. Now that you have little, it's easy for you to manage it, because if you're faithful with 100, you'll be faithful with 1,000. I'm going to be sharing tips that are very applicable, and especially if you're a Nigerian student. I know that when you Google online and you check for tips for managing finance, you see a lot of things that are so gendered and are so vague that you cannot apply. But I am a Nigerian student and I will give you the tips that I'm using. So these are tips that you can also use. All right, so the first tip would be you have to budget. I'm sure you've heard the term budgeting 1,001 times, and then you're like, I mean, what's it about? Why should I this and that? It's simply just allocating where your money for the month would go. Simple. It's as easy as that. So I'm not one to tell you what to do and just tell you, okay, go and do it and things like that. I would actually help you guys. So in the description box, I have a link where you can get a budget sheet. This is completely free, so you can print it out or fill it on your device using Adobe Fill and Sign, and fill out how much your income, your expenses. I divided it into different fields that students can relate to, like your feeding, transportation, your stationery, offering, whatever it is that you will be spending on. Their categories there, so you can just allocate how much it is that you spend. If you spend about 30k on feeding, then put it there, things like that. However, try to cut your coats according to your size. So when you're budgeting, make sure everything that you'll be spending on fits into your income for the month, so you won't have to be running up and down and be borrowing just to meet up with your expenses. So you want to make sure that your income is greater than your expense. I don't think I really have to explain this to you guys, but do check the description box for the budget sheet. For someone like me, I do print it out. I print it out and I have it with me. So at the end of a month, I am going to calculate how much I will be spending the following month, my income, put my income there, things like that, and how much will be going into my savings. If you don't have a fixed income, maybe you have income from like different sources, it's best to use a round figure. And a round figure is something that you're sure that you would actually attain. There's something that you're sure that would actually come in for you, so you don't want to be putting more than what you're expecting on your budget sheet. It can actually hurt your finances. So the first thing would be to budget. Check the link in the description box for your budget sheet and fill it in and just work with it. So my second tip would be, don't wait till when you have more money. So I hear a lot of students saying, oh, I don't have enough, I can't save now, I can't think of maybe investing, I can't get myself nice things. What I always tell students is that more money is just more money. More money doesn't come with a spending what's it called, a controlled spending habit or a saving habit, or some kind of you just crave to get yourself things and this and that. It's a very terrible misconception, because by the time you leave school and you have a job, you start to pay tax, you start to like pay your rent, pay for your car maintenance, different things. There are other expenses that would come into play. So if you don't know how to manage your money now, it's going to be way harder much later. And that's one thing I need you to understand. I have seen people who just get about 15,000 naira a month and they're still able to save out of it. Some people cannot live on that, but I've seen someone, that's how much the person gets, and the person actually still tries to save. So it is important that you try to build a habit based on what you have and not based on what you think you would have in the future. Okay, let me just get that straight. Number 3 would be use automated savings. Now, this has been a tip for me because someone like me, it was really difficult for me to save as per my teen years, like early teen years, let me put it that way. I was very terrible with money. Like almost anything that touches my hand, I spend it ASAP. So for me, like a saving habit was difficult to develop. But one thing that helped me a lot was automated savings. So automated savings is just like saving automatically. So I do that with CRAVINGS, and I used to do that with piggy bank. Piggy bank or CRAVINGS are your best bet if you're here in Nigeria. So with it, they take an amount of money from my account every Monday. This I don't have to verify. I don't have to tell them yes every time you want to take the money. Once it's Monday morning, I'm sure I'm going to get an alert that this amount of money has been removed from my account and go straight into my savings account. It's better because if you're the one having to save it by yourself, there are different temptations that will come, different needs might arise and would not let you save. So it's very important to use an automated savings. This also helps you be more disciplined and also make sure nothing tampers with your savings. When you have a target, you're going to reach that target because you're going to be saving whether you like it or not. Another tip would be feed your cravings so it does not swallow you. Honestly, when people hear of budgeting or saving this and that as a student, it looks like, oh, you're going to completely delete all the luxury things, the new things you want to buy, the things that you enjoy, you crave, things like that. It is not actually so. Honestly speaking, just the way it is with dieting, they always let you have some snacks. It's the same way with budgeting. You always have your gifting, you always have things that you buy for yourself that you spend on. For someone like me, I'm huge on bags. I almost cannot go a month without getting myself a new bag one way or the other. So I've included that into my budget. So under gifts, in my budget sheet, that place is actually for gift for myself or for other people. So if I want to give myself something, which is a bag, I would budget it then. However, I don't spend more than how much I've budgeted for that gift. So if I really like that bag, I can either decide to save up for 2 months to get it, or I just don't bother at all. So it's very important that you also budget your cravings. So if it's that you love new makeup, you love new skincare, you don't want to starve yourself, because the minute you start, it's going to be terrible. Like you're just going to splurge and just spend beyond control. But if you've been removing some amount of money for this and that every month, it's going to be, it's like you have a controlled spending. No pressure can make you do some crazy impulse buying. Okay, so it's important that you feed your cravings. Those little things that you really like. Is it that new purse you're loving? Girl, budget for it and buy it. It's simple. You deserve it. Honestly, you actually deserve it. So budget for it and buy it. You have to feed your cravings so that it does not consume you, honestly, because you end up spending all of your savings. So the next tip is a substitute for the automated savings, and it's really important. I learned this from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that will be spend after saving. So most people save what's left at the end of the month, that, oh, I didn't spend this amount of money, so let me just move it to my savings account. But I would say have a fixed amount you want to save every month from your allowance, and once your allowance comes in, maybe it's end of the month, middle of the month, your parents send it, just move the money to your savings account first. Whenever I get my allowance, I move in this process. I move my savings. That's what I do. I move my savings account. And you might be wondering, okay, how much should I save as a student? How much am I supposed to save as a student? Well, I would actually advise 15 to 20% of your allowance. 15-20% of your allowance. Now, if you remove that, you save it, and then you spend, and then there's still something left, you can save more than 15 to 20%. But that would just be like an average I would tell you to work with. So 15-20% of your allowance, you should actually save it. So going back to the beginning, I move in this pattern. So once I get my allowance, my 20% of it, I move it to my savings. That's step one. The next thing I do would be to withdraw my tithes, because I don't want any form of temptation to come into play whatsoever. That is how I deal with it. It is a really simple way. Then probably next thing I will do will be make a list of the provisions that I need for the month, and then go get it and then buy it at once, whatever thing that I might need. Cool. So that is how I actually deal when my money comes, because it's easy to save when you put it inside first, instead of spending, and things would always come up. Trust me, things would always come up. So I learned this from Rich Dad Poor Dad. He actually put it as pay yourself first, then pay others, which is like pay your bills later. make other expenses later, but pay yourself first in the sense of how much you're supposed to save, how much you're supposed to invest it first before you now go into other things. So it's really important. It helps you a lot with discipline. It helps you a lot with discipline, guys. Take it from me. So my other tip would be to cut down expenses, because if you're finding it hard to save, you're finding it difficult to have enough money, it simply means you're living above the level you're supposed to live at. So you have to cut down expenses. There are different ways for you to cut down expense. One way would be pay for online resources with your friends. So there are a couple of online like libraries you have to pay for to like get access to publications, to journals and things like that. So you can always create an account. You and your friends can contribute to pay for it. Maybe there's a textbook you guys need to buy. You guys can always contribute and then pay for the textbook and get it together. It is really important. I've done this with like a couple of people. They weren't exactly my friends, but I've done this with like a group of people, and I had access to like some journals online and things like that. So this would really help you save costs, because if it's about $20 and then you guys are a group of 5, so you get to pay only like $4 and you guys have equal access to it. You just need a mail and a password everybody would have. Next thing would be make your own meals. I'm not going to preach too much about this because some people don't cook and some schools don't allow cooking. But if you can make your meals, it's a way to cut down your expenses instead of eating out every now and then. It's a really good way. I don't have that luxury. If I do have it, I would have jumped at it and I'll be making my meals, but I don't have it. So I have to buy my meals. But also I budget how much I spend on my meals weekly and monthly. So everything still goes within the whole budget. So for cutting down expenses, lastly will be search for textbooks online before going to buy them on Amazon, things like that. Whatever place you want to get the books, try to search your school library too, in case they already have the books, instead of you buying it, and just go to the library, maybe borrow the textbook or read it there and there in the library. These are things that might, make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, you're still cutting down expenses. Because if you think about it, in a year, 2 years, you won't need those textbooks anymore. So there's no need to splurge and spend so much on them. When you have access to them, maybe in your school library or an online library. I am going to drop the link to a particular library that I get most of my textbooks from. Different textbooks, honestly. Some I've used for my projects, some I've used for assignments, different textbooks. So I'll drop the link in the description box. Everything that's completely is totally free. Just download it. You can download it, you can keep it, maybe store it in iBooks or whatever, but it is totally free, guys. Final tip would be create another source of income. And guys, I'm not going to stress too much about this because making money as a student is a different topic on its own. If you want me to do a video on that, on how you can, easy ways for you to, let me know in the comment section. But it's a really long topic. However, I'm not going to say this and tell everybody, oh, go outside and start making money, things like that, because to some people it can serve as a distraction to your academics, and that's not really what I want you to be driving at right now. But having another source of income is really, really beautiful. There are different ways you can. I would advise soft skills, things that you can do online. You can do online jobs regarding to your course. You can actually be an assistant lecturer, like a virtual assistant lecturer for maybe a lecturer in another school teaching your course. So you get to like set test questions, you get to like mark sometimes too. So these are things that they would help you academically too, and also you'll be getting some cash on the side. There's Upwork where you can get jobs that are also in your field, especially if you're into like data, you're into like computer science, things like that. You can find jobs on Upwork there that are also related to your school, so it's not like it's a big distraction. There are other things you can do, social media management, but I would say leverage on soft skills because they take less time. I believe that they take less time. There are things that you can also do at your own convenience, and soft skills are becoming more relevant than hard skills because hard skills are becoming really, really replaceable. I'm not going to talk too much about this. Like I said, it's supposed to be like a mini video. So if you want me to do a detailed video on different ways you can grow your income as a student, especially a Nigerian student, because I feel like we don't have enough resources on the internet and we don't have enough people teaching us how to do this thing, then drop a comment down below saying you want this video and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. That's how I know you guys actually love this kind of content, so I will put out more. So we are done. Don't forget to get your budget sheets below. and probably start working with it, trying to wrap your head around having a budget, working with a budget, this and that. Like I said, it's really important you get it right now that you're still in school. You still have like a stable income coming in from your parents or whatever business it is that you're doing. Just start and just build a habit. It's a habit that you would treasure when you leave school. You would be so thankful to yourself that you actually learned how to manage finance at a really young age. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm so close to it. So give this video a thumbs up too, and I'll see you guys in my next video.